Lions Rock Productions.
This is Jay Moore.
This is Greg Chris.
This is Bryce Vine.
This is Dexter from The Offspring.
Is Nathan
This
East.
is Sebastian Younger.
This is Daryl Anderson.
This is Stuart Copeland.
This is Mick Gillette.
This is Andy Summers.
This is Dr. Bob Greenberg.
This is Gabby Reese.
This is Rob Bell.
Hey, this is John Leon Guerrero.
Hey, and this is Pete A. Turner.
This is Cornell Carter.
This is David Agent.
This is Kirk Crumpler.
And you're listening to
The Break It Down Show.
And now, The Break It Down Show with John Leon Guerrero and Pete A. Turner.
Music to my ears. Do you know how long I've been chasing Kirk Crumpler? Few things I want to say, though, is as an intro, I'm going to proclaim right now, sitting to my right is my favorite soul singer.
Well,
Word up.
well,
I know them all.
Wow.
I've heard them all.
there's quite a few.
I love many of them. I love many of them.
Right.
I love this man, his work, his top notch, his ability to make my night end very happily has been proven. So
Yes.
if somebody says, really, man, how about Bill Withers? How about Stevie Wonder? How about Marvin Gaye? I'll say yes. Great, great, great. However, there is one individual who has made my night end the way I want it to end more than all of those individuals, and that is Cornell Carter.
Appreciate that.
He just had to be a copy of the One Love album.
Yep. There it is.
Burning up the charts. So
It's already burning.
it's already burned. It's burning a hole in my table. Both of these gentlemen played on this album. Did you produce this album, Kurt?
A little bit.
Had
a little bit of it?
A little bit of it.
You see his name everywhere.
It's all up and down the track list.
Do you notice that cake crumpler everywhere?
Cake Crumpler is everywhere. You know, the funny thing, though, that I will say is this is not your first CC album.
No, this is actually the
Fifth.
Wow.
And by that, I don't just mean that this is not the first time you've worked with Cornell Carter, but I know that you also played many years ago on another CC album.
First one was Let's Go Back. Yes.
Well, the 88 was our first single. He talking about 88.
We're going back.
The first single?
Before that will be a group called The Answer.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
He's digging around. Not even the one I'm talking about
No,
yet. This is how much work Kirk Crumpler has done over the years.
You talking about his work?
Yeah.
Yeah. He goes way back further than me.
Yeah. Let me see. Let me dig up.
He's thinking about my stuff.
I
I'm
know
talking about
he
his
is
stuff.
thinking about your stuff, and I know you go way back. But this is just a note of trivia that I could not pass up because I was like, "Oh no, not another CC!" And I will say that he played Moog bass on "Dance with You" by Carl Carlton.
Ooh, that's
on the
CC.
Bad CC album from way back.
You went back.
How's that?
Before time.
That was long before I was CC.
Weren't there two songs on that album that you guys did?
This is how far Dave goes back. It was like, well, that was one of two songs.
Well, Dave is the encyclopedia at the table right now, so
Dave probably knows more.
Dave knows.
Yeah, Dave's knowledge is encyclopedic, but it's especially encyclopedic.
We have
when
to direct all these questions to Dave.
Yeah, he'll come through with the authoritative answer. But
that's not true.
You know, so our listeners also know Dave Agent because he's made several appearances on the show.
Yep.
His first appearance on the show was an early episode. He was kind enough to allow me to wrangle him. Not like Kirk. Kirk make a brother chase him down.
You know,
Dave,
it's
though,
been some moons since you've been trying to get him.
Man, Dave came right on board, and then he has since brought people. Sometimes I get a call from Dave, and I'll be like, "Hey, Dave, how you doing? Hey, we're going to do an episode of the show. Here's when it's happening. Here's who I'm bringing with me." And I go, "Okay," because I'm no dummy. I just go, "Yeah, sure, man. Let's go." Sometimes that show will be in Los Angeles, and I still go, "Okay, what time are we doing it? Okay, I'll see you then, Dave." So of the several appearances that you've made, I suggest everybody go back, listen to the Dave Agent episodes.
Yep.
Some of them include, let's see, who have you appeared on? Our good friend, Yes, Daryl Anders.
Whose new album is
awesome.
Whose new album is spectacular.
Yes.
His episode is upcoming this week.
Yeah. Oh, yeah?
So I believe it's dropping tomorrow.
That's our brother.
Yeah.
That's our brother.
And that album is ridiculously good.
Yes.
Man, it's so good.
Yes.
conversation.
You also were on the episode, the one that we did in Simi Valley with the late, great Rich Ruse. May you rest in peace. That was a great episode.
Fantastic.
And what else have you done? You've been on with Daryl. Daryl joined us at the table, but I don't have enough headsets.
If I'm not mistaken, those are the 3 that I appeared on.
Has it just been 3?
I certainly hope so.
Okay.
I've been wearing out my welcome.
We've had a lot of honorable mentions.
Yes, I do think of Dave a lot, and when I think of him, I just throw him out there. I hear, we've had a lot of bass players on the show. We've had some esteemed bass players, Nathan East. On the Nathan East episode, I said, yeah, man, I remember hearing you and going, man, this guy's almost as good as Dave Agent.
That's hard, man.
Yeah.
That's pretty hard.
We bring you up every
But
time.
it's true.
But we can't help it.
Can't help it.
It is what
I
it
can't
is,
count
man.
the number of times that
Why
I've
you all
been
humble
someplace
over there, man?
and I would meet
put me
some
in that
amazing
bag.
musician and then find out that person's figuring it out process
Yeah.
had everything to do with Dave Agent.
Man. Okay.
Would you think that's
We're gonna
that's
go
now,
there,
now
right?
he's
We're gonna
now
go there
now
now?
you opened up the
sure
door.
we can embarrass him?
Okay.
That's what we're here for.
I'm going to go in first.
Oh, I see.
I'm going to go straight to it. So I'm fresh out of high school.
Uh-huh.
Literally fresh out of high school.
That's like 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I go to this club in San Francisco. I believe it's 9th and Clement. It was called Woodstock.
Yep.
And this is the true story. I walk into this club. There's this band playing, and this guy with this bass. They go into this song called "Time" by Lenny White.
Oh boy.
I walk in the club. He goes and play that bass solo. I'm done. I'm a fan for life.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's a hero for everybody's
He's,
life.
Oh,
he's
man.
my hero. He's my hero. I'm going on
That
record
was Time.
and put you on blast.
And the thing about that song is it's one of the there are some secret handshakes, right? The night I met Richie, I walked into this band called Nantucket. And I was down there, and we were in the middle of we were just looking at each other. It was me and Glenn Hale, who's a keyboard player, Mike Colon, who's a terrific drummer, and we were sitting there just looking at each other. And then my old roommate and my brother Derek Willis, may he also rest in peace, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we were there just looking at each other like, what is going on in here? And I guess what had been going on was that this band had booked that club for the night. It's right down here on the water in Benicia. And then they had to cancel. So the club owner called Corey DeBrake, the bass player. And Corey said, I'll see what I can hobble together. So you know what he did? I believe he called Percy.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Percy said, yeah, man, we just happen to not be on the road right now, and got the Whispers rhythm section. So Rich was there, Emilio was there, and they were in there burning. And then at one point, 4 or 5 songs into it, while we're sitting there just trying to pick our mouths up off the table, they say, okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a short pause for a good cause. And while he's saying this, right, they're getting ready to take a break, I hear doom, 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 doom. And we start looking at each other like, they won't. They won't. They
won't play that.
They wouldn't dare. Boom, boom, doom, doom. And they kept doing it. And I was like, they're acting like they're actually going to play it. And then, okay, so we'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. But first, we want to give some to the band. And then they whipped into Run for Cover. And we went, no, they didn't. And they played it and killed it. And then they introduced everybody. And Corey DeBrake said, and on the drums, we have Rich Aguan. And I was like, oh, okay. So I had to go, had the same experience.
There it is.
I was like, okay,
There it
well,
is. Yep.
I learned something today.
Yeah. How about that?
Yeah. So,
Okay, my Dave Agent story.
yes, please.
Just fresh into just even thinking that I could sing.
Uh-huh.
Went,
Also, approximately 5 or 6 years ago.
yeah, just about 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
5. I had a good buddy of mine, Preston Kirksey. He used to play in a band. He said, I want to take you to hear a band. I really wasn't into, what I could do then. But I still wanted to go hear bands. So he takes me to Presidio.
This is way, way early.
Wait, he takes me to Presidio. NCO Club.
I'm going to just
Is that
tie
Saturday
a knot
night or
around my
Sunday
finger
night?
because
Saturday
there's a question
night.
I want to ask CC.
Saturday night.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Not far from Woodstock.
Okay.
So
this was Dave's neighborhood.
we go into this place, man.
He was planting seeds in this
guy,
block.
This guy.
There's a band playing.
Uh-huh.
Band called Arrival.
Arrival.
They play Stomp.
The
Notice
nerve.
They play.
The nerve.
And I'm like,
The
there is
nerve.
no way any band
Is going to dare.
is going to dare play Stomp. And this guy, he's the first guy I heard solo,
Unafraid.
unafraid. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe I was actually hearing a local band.
Unafraid,
a local
unencumbered.
band playing that song.
Yeah. And killing
And
it.
then Albert DeGracia was playing all the strings, and this is like, I'm like, these cats is crazy. But when he played the solo, I was like, okay, I can leave. I'm ready to leave.
Yeah.
But that's my first Dave Agent experience. Him playing
my
the
goodness.
solo on Stomp.
You know what's?
Was that on the Alembic?
Oh,
That was the other bass I was gonna
It was on the Sabre. It was on. My Sabre and Lewis's Sabre were identical, to the point to where when Arrival opened the concert for them in Sacramento, I just got the Sabre, and we go walking to our dressing room, and I walk by. Apparently, I walked by George and Lewis's dressing room.
Does this end with Dave mugging Lewis Johnson?
I know.
Right.
I look in the dressing room and I see the black Les Paul sitting on a stand, and next to it is this Sabre that looks exactly like mine. I'm like, well, isn't that interesting? And I keep walking to our dressing room. So meanwhile, it's time for us to go sound check. We're in our dressing
That's
room.
he's
all
being
of 10.
kind. You know,
Yeah,
he
he
walked
is.
by and he thought, this fool trying to steal my bass.
Because when you young, that's how you think.
Right.
It was all of 10 minutes. No, but this is what you don't understand. Stomp was probably less than 4 months old on the radio.
Yeah.
And that was the first time anybody, as far as I know of, heard a Sabre. And there I find out that I have the same bass he has. I didn't quite realize that that's what I had.
The gem that you were
until I
holding.
looked at his, and I go, well, that's what I'm walking in here with.
Must be okay. I must have an okay instrument. I guess there's no excuse.
Right.
We're in there all the 10 minutes in the dressing room. We head back out to the stage, fire up everything. We're ready to sound check. Lewis and George's guitar tech comes walking out towards the stage. He's walking all the way across the stage, and he's looking at my bass, and he's starting to freak out. He's like,
This fool's trying to steal Lewis's
oh
bass.
my God. And he takes off hightailing it back to the dressing room to see which bass I had. And I think he realized what was going on. He just kind of sat back there probably and wiped his brow.
Right.
And, realized that.
Because as the tech, he was responsible for that gear, and he
Yeah,
was
he
going to
was.
have some explaining
Yeah, he
to
was.
do.
He was about to lose his job.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, for real. For real.
And we may have I won't go into that.
Why
But
you see?
anyway.
There you go. You're all humble now.
But
Y'all probably ripped it.
yeah, we had nothing to do with Stomp that night. That was their song, not ours. And I do remember Lewis shaking my hand. I believe it was that night. I'm pretty sure it was that night. And he had these long fingers and hands. And instead of shaking my hand like anybody would,
It was one of those big handshakes that knocked shit
That
over.
cover you. Yeah, one of them.
kablunk.
Shit just fell all
My
off
great
the table.
regret is that I
Kinda
started
handshake.
this
Can we pause?
podcast years too late to have Lewis Johnson do an episode of the show, because I'm positive he would have said, man, this one time we were playing in Sacramento, and I
would've
saw this
showed
dude
up.
had the exact same bass as me, and I had to say, hey, man, play that song again, because I want to see how you play that.
Sure.
Say Lewis Johnson had a Dave Agent moment as well. Or who knows? Maybe it would have been something along the lines of,
Who knows?
yeah, who knows? However,
But that was my moment.
yeah, that's a
And
great moment. But
what's interesting about that, Cornell, is that we only played that room twice.
And I happened to be there that one night.
And I remember both nights.
How
Wow.
about that?
I remember both.
How about
nights.
that?
Wow.
There couldn't have been more than 20 people, maybe 30 at tops,
yeah,
there.
Yeah. Yeah, wasn't a lot of people there.
But so I definitely recall the night, and you got me going. Wow,
I was one
he
of the,
was
I
there?
was one of those 30.
Oh my
It
goodness,
was just meant for me to be there that night.
man. Well, I'm so glad you were there because I wouldn't be here right now. I can guarantee you that. If you weren't there, I'm pretty sure I'd be at home.
so we just created a Dave Agent moment.
Yeah.
That big handshake
Yeah.
that he demonstrated with Daryl.
Yep.
He exploded.
Yeah, he did.
A red beverage all the way around the room, and Jay and Daryl cleaned it up in 11 seconds.
Yeah.
They're like a
Record
pit
time.
crew.
I mean,
Record
I
time.
feel like all the tires are
All the
changed.
tires changed.
Yep.
Yeah, record time. I think
on the road.
Daryl's down there. Where did you get floor wax? Daryl
Got
is
the
waxing
floor
the hardwood
wax.
floor.
Yeah, Jay.
Anyway,
It's an amazing thing.
yeah, thank you, fellas.
Yeah.
That happened.
What a crew.
That happened and was finished before Dave's story.
My
There it is.
deepest apologies.
There it is.
That was terrific.
All right.
So let's talk about this record that you guys made.
Okay.
It's lovely, but you just came back from Europe. You were in London for quite a while. Where else did you go?
Mainly there.
Yeah, mainly
UK.
Yeah.
And
Why is London embracing all of our soul singers? Do you have to leave here to become a star in London to come back and be recognized for your
well,
capabilities?
let me
here?
flip the question around.
Okay.
London asked the question, why isn't America embracing American artists?
Right.
So they're wondering,
To which the answer
what's our
is,
problem?
We always, I mean, the Rolling Stones exist because they said, hey, look at all this good music in America. We should just play it and sell it back to America. And I'm not disparaging the Rolling Stones.
No.
This is what they say.
That's what they say.
They say, we're listening to all this great music, and you guys are failing to recognize it.
And you're throwing it away. And now that they have it, as I've shared with everybody, they're not giving it back now.
Right.
They got the soul market wrapped up, man.
Wrapped up.
They're not giving it back.
We're going to do an episode with Chubby Tavares, the great Chubby Tavares. And he's headed over there. He's like, man, I got to go to work.
Dude, for real. If you want to work, you got to go there.
Man.
You got to go there.
They kept you busy over there, huh?
Yeah.
You were over there for a minute.
Like 10 days.
Wow.
Like interviews every day.
Yeah.
Red carpet treatment. Just literally like you would feel like an artist should be treated. Mm-hmm. Where you're embraced, like he's here.
Appreciated.
But beyond.
Yeah.
You know, it's a cut above, man. It's just like, wow. So your name is synonymous with your work.
Wow. As it should be.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the process of making this record because you guys are all on it.
Yeah.
Where did you start?
See that guy right there?
Uh-huh.
Talk to him.
Okay.
Where did it all start?
Where did it all start? It started with kicking Kirk
Well,
Crumpler.
actually, Cornell he already had a vision
Yeah.
of direction.
Okay.
He wanted to give out life's stories, true life stories. Mm-hmm. He wanted this CD to be 100% authentic, real, just real. That's the main word is real.
Yeah.
Real stuff.
Yeah.
Not write a story for music.
Right.
He wanted to write real things that is happening everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And once he said that, I kind of went that way musically.
Yeah.
It really was.
I kind of
It
went
really
that way
was.
musically. I like, okay, well, if he's going to do lyrics from that point of view, I'm going to do some music from that point of view.
Right.
So we did a couple of tracks, and as he does what he does. He takes the music, he lives with it. He don't sit with it. He lives with it.
Right.
And then he'll
Marinates in it.
We're going in the studio such and such day, such and such time. Okay.
Right.
We go into the studio. We have this communication where we don't even have to talk to each other.
Yeah.
We don't even have to look at each other. He goes into the booth. I sit at the board, press the red button, and magic happens.
Magic happens.
And
It literally happens that way.
I could tell that just
Yeah.
from listening to what's there.
Yeah.
I can tell exactly what he just described. It's like,
Yeah.
man, they're not. They know.
We
each
don't
other.
talk.
Yeah.
We don't talk at all.
Don't
He
have
doesn't.
to.
But
It's
what's
the
great
cosmic
about it? What's
communication.
great about it is we don't talk, but yet we are talking.
Yeah.
But I never tell him what I'm going to do or what I'm going to sing or this is how I'm going to sing it. It just happens.
This is, I believe, why I have a couple of different directions I really want to explore. We're going to get to both of them. But first I want to ask you, because in your Dave Agent story, you said you were, at the time, unaware of your direction, what you want to do, what you were capable of.
Completely.
How? Are you guys wondering how? How does a person who possesses the pipes that you have cultivated leave them undiscovered up to that point in your life? And at what point did you, and how did you discover that you had the gift? Because
Didn't know it.
yeah,
That's something you don't know
You
until
won't. No, you did.
until
Yeah.
it's just like hitting a jackpot.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, really?
I'm walking around thinking I was supposed to play baseball or something
okay.
because that was my thing.
Yes, that particular distraction is encompassing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could see where it would be the case. But I mean, when you have, some of our listeners have seen the live show, and the last time I saw you, Kirk, was you were MDing Cornell's show at Yoshi's.
Okay.
Right.
And the live energy that existed in that show, and the way that I've already said you're my favorite soul singer, but you are a top-notch showman. You captain the ship in a way that really is, you marshal everybody's good time. Did you at least know you had that?
I did.
Okay.
That part I always had.
All right. So you've always been a captain.
I was always the captain of the team.
Yeah.
Always like the leader guy.
Right.
So yeah, that goes way back.
Okay.
This episode of the Break It Down Show is brought to you by Lions Rock Productions.
That's us.
We publish, evaluate, and develop podcasts just like this one, consult others to build their own, and create associated content and content marketing strategies.
So if you're launching or expanding your social media presence, your business, or your personal brand, or if you just want to take your media presence to the next level,
Reach out to us on Twitter
at P. Turner,
or at JohnLG69.
at the Break It Down Show.
There's 1,000 ways to get a hold of us.
Now enjoy the show.
So you've always been a captain.
I was always the captain of the team.
Yeah.
Always like the leader guy.
Right.
So yeah, that goes way back.
Okay. So it takes away a little bit of the mystery, because I'm trying to find that place where I can get to believable.
Right.
Okay.
Because, man, can you imagine being able to sing like CC and have no idea until it's almost far too late? Here's the other thing that I really want to explore, though, is you are making a record that is crawling out and it's going to find its audience. You're not a young man. And you bring to this record
In Earth years.
the wisdom of somebody who's been around and has something to contribute that's of some consequence.
Yeah.
And there's something beautiful about that journey, and I think that looking at the all around the table at all of you, because you all bring that, not just musical sensibility, but there's something to the soulfulness that says, I might have been born at night, but not last night.
Not last night.
So in your lyrics, you can hear that thing. What do you bring to the music that matches the lyrical content in its richness? How do you say, I'm going to play this with all of my maturity and all of my experience?
You just answered it. You just answered it. I just take everything in my know-how and play it, listen back, correct it. If it feels good, I don't touch it.
Right.
Feel, not so much the notes.
Right.
Feel of the music. If it feels good, it is good. Good or bad notes, if it feels good, it is good. Right, Mr. Agent?
Yeah, that's it.
That's it, man.
That's
And
a
again,
lot
we
of
look
things
to
that
the
a lot
Jedi
of
Master for justification.
I mean, everyone has their own way of writing music, but soul music is exactly what it is. It's from your soul.
Right.
If you're able to get it out of your fingers or your voice, if it feels good, sounds good, it's good.
Yeah.
Good it must
You don't want to
feel.
mess with that. Yeah. You don't want to mess with it. And that's to answer your question.
But when you answered my question, you said, "Well, I take everything that I know how to play," and
Okay.
and I think that if I can insert some meaning into that sentence and interpret it a little bit, I've seen you play live where you laid way back, and it was one of those situations. I don't remember what you played, but you played something, and there was a break in the music, and you just played a little chord. It's like might have been
That's
two
it.
notes,
That's it.
and we just. And it was like, it's not about saying so many things. It's about just inserting the precise right thing
right
for that
time.
moment.
Exactly. I'm a laid back kind of guy.
What would you say to a young player who's not aware of where that perfect moment is and just trying to find out what it is? Because when you're young and you're just working through your exercises and you're running your scales and you're just working through your dexterity, you're trying to find that thing that says, oh, man, I can play like these really badass cats.
Right.
A lot of times you go for speed, you'll go for something virtuosic, and at some point you figure out that, Eric Clapton is Eric Clapton.
Right.
And
Right.
and there are just some players whose signature is that they just keep quiet until it's time to say something. Miles.
Yeah.
Man, the master.
Yeah. What do you say to a young player who hasn't found that and is searching for it? How do you find it?
They're not searching for it. These kids these days are on screens and watching these incredible players that have amazing dexterity and ability and knowledge play a zillion notes in 2 minutes.
Correct.
They don't know how to do what he does and what he does.
Right.
They don't know how
That's
to
a lost
do that.
art.
Literally.
What's missing, Dave? Somewhere out there is a young listener who does get it to some degree, and he's like, man, I'm just trying to find it.
It's not what's missing, it's what's distracting.
Great point. Great point.
It should be over here, not over there.
Right.
Okay, for the audio audience who said, over where, Dave?
Right.
I don't know where it is. Is he pointing at Cleveland?
Right.
I
But
think
it shouldn't be in, not necessarily in, especially you're not going to find it in technology or in these players
It's
that you
not there.
see
Yeah.
on the
YouTube.
tube that are blowing your mind. You're going to find that in the Miles Davises. People that really get it, those are the people that they admire.
tell me the difference in the paths, because what I'm trying to do is there's a young listener out there and I want to send him out into the woods.
Right.
Like, I'm going to go find this thing. I don't know what it is, but Dave Agent told me to go out in the woods and find it. What is it?
I need Cornell to answer that because he ultimately is
Puts
in
the words on it.
control of what's going to come out of us.
Okay.
Right.
So I'm going to leave that to him.
For that young listener, you can never be too simple.
Okay.
So the young man who listens to 1,000 licks has never heard simplicity. He's never heard one note being played for 16 bars and it sounds great because the singer says, play with me. Play with me. Let's play together, but play with me.
Yeah.
And you'll hear there's room now for the drummer.
Yeah.
There's room now for the guitar player. So the guy that wants to do 1,000 licks, the reason why he can't figure it out is because
He's not leaving room.
He's not leaving room. And we know as funksters, as soul singers, it's about the space between the notes.
Yeah.
So if everybody's running all through the groove, where's the space between the notes? Because it's
Right.
the space is where the funk is where the soul is.
Right.
But if there's no space, you're lost.
There's no soul.
There's no soul without space, man. James Brown said it on the one.
Okay. Man, that's very profound.
I love the cut, that feeling that Kirk played bass on, and what you just described is exactly what Kirk is doing in that feeling.
Correct.
He's leaving so much space.
Yeah.
And it, in my opinion, that's why that tune charted like it did.
It did.
Yeah.
It did.
Because it had that space in it.
Yeah. It made you want. I don't know if you guys remember, there was a Herbie Hancock tune, man. It was a Headhunters tune, and I don't remember what it was, but there was a build-up. I mean, everybody got their solo, you know, and everybody came in and did their thing, and you were just waiting because Herbie was going to take a turn, and you knew it was coming.
Yep.
You knew it was coming, and the anticipation was palpable. And he made you wait on it, and he made you wait on it. And then I just remember, like, when it came, there was a build-up and the swell and the swell and the swell. And I think it started with Zana. And you could literally hear Herbie Hancock turn around and walk away.
Right.
And maybe somebody put a cape on him.
Right.
And then he came back and he played the rest of the solo.
Got
Like,
it.
oh, he made you wait on it.
Got it.
And he was like, you know what? And you will wait. And oh man, and it was delicious that way.
Yeah.
So that is exactly as you described.
Yeah.
Let the thing breathe.
It's gotta breathe, man. It's gotta breathe.
Okay.
You know.
Let us. We did some embarrassing of Dave. Let's embarrass CC for a minute because
Go for it.
Dave and I saw him the other night. Daryl was there. Jay was there. We had a good time. We ate well, so we were prepped.
Very well.
We had a nice waitress who was taking good care of us in the bar. She brought us our beverages, kept us hydrated, and then the band started. First impressions, Dave? My brother's over there shaking his head. He's like, oh.
I think my jaw might have unhinged just for
a minute.
About 30
You were
seconds.
like you were like
okay,
a python. Your jaw unhinged.
I was floored. You guys are amazing. Amazing. Loved it.
What
Loved
did
every
it
minute.
for you? I mean, you could really say everything because everybody in that band is so giving and communicative. And,
yeah, that's what it is.
And it's a matter of everybody always trying. Do you remember Chip and Dale, the little gophers?
Indubitably.
Or absolutely. And all they did, they would spend a half an hour chasing after whatever they were chasing and out-nicing each other. And they were always like, oh, no, you first. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. No, I couldn't think of it.
Right.
And that's the whole band. The whole band is like, no, you go. No, you go. No, look, I'm going to set this up so you can go. Mm-hmm. And really, it's wonderful to watch.
Yeah.
You guys executed the same vibe at the CC show at Yoshi's. I mean, really.
Yeah, it literally is like that.
Yeah.
And maybe that's an extension of who I am. You know, it's not about me.
Yeah.
It hasn't been about me my whole life. You know, it's bigger than me.
Huh.
So I don't have any diva in me.
Okay.
None. Zero.
I would reinforce that comment, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Man, that's golden.
Yeah.
That's platinum.
That's a thing for the young musicians listening to the show. Understand that. Because I think one of the things, this morning we dropped our Rick Marotta episode, and I sent you guys the link and say, here, listen to this on your way in. Because I think what I got out of that, I love Rick Marotta so much. He is such a beautiful dude, man. I love that dude so much. But it's the same thing, man. He just wants to give, and he wants to set everybody up, and he's made his living and made all those great songs that we love.
Yep.
Yes.
Because everybody else said, man, you got to get Rick because he makes everybody else sound better. And when you're on stage, musical directing, in your case, Casey, or playing with a band where everybody is capable and willing and eager to make everybody else sound better, you end up sounding pretty good.
Pretty darn good.
You do.
So what is it like helming a show where you know that you can get that out of everybody? And is there any playing situation that you think really engenders that experience? Is there some magic recipe that you bring, Kirk, that says, just wait, I'm going to set CC up. He's going to sound so good tonight because I'm going to do this?
My thing is to just make sure everyone that's playing in the band give space. Space is my key word. Space. Just let everything breathe. He's the lead person in front of us. He's the focal point. We are just the backdrop, if you would. We are just supposed to give him space and room to be that front person, whether he's a singer or a guitar player or a saxophonist. Just let everything breathe so that person that's in the front, representing us as a whole, is featured at all times.
Propped up.
When that person that's in the front of the stage gives you the look or point at you or introduce you to do what you do, then step forward and do what you do.
Okay. So as the
Yes.
musical director, if you could make that role of musical director, because we say it all the time, on this show, and we have a very diverse audience to this show. So one of the things that I really enjoy is when somebody who's just not musical enjoys one of our musical shows and says, man, I can't really put my finger on exactly what I learned, but I feel like I know so much more about music and I listen to it differently. So when we talk about the musical director in a live performance, the musical director is not the star of the show.
Not at all.
What is the musical director if you were to make that role analogous to somebody on the football field or somewhere else? How would you explain what a musical director does in allowing CC to take flight?
First, keep the band comfortable, at ease, not apply a lot of pressure and stress. Give them time to learn the music. Give them time. Give them the music, whether it's written or recorded. Give it to them an ample amount of time where they can, as I say again, live with the music, get into it.
You are a proponent of living with this music.
Yeah, that's the thing. Live
the
with the
only way.
music.
What do you prefer to do? Do you chart things out, or do you record things and hand people recordings? Or, I mean, you got to work with what you get.
It
right?
depends on. Okay, now we're moving into today's technology. Now, fortunately for all of us, there's new technology that allows you to, well, if you have a musician that doesn't know the feel of the music, you can now go into your computer and tell and
quantize that person
to print out the actual notes on paper.
Yeah.
Of the feel as well as the music.
True. Yeah.
So for those who just know how to read music, well, here's your paper, sir, ma'am. Read it, play it as it is. Because this is the way it was played on the record, with the feel noted on paper.
Wow.
And if they can read it, they're going to play exactly what they see.
like that.
If it slows down, they're going to slow down. If it jumps, they're going to jump because they're reading it, and that's what they do.
Right.
So for me, if that situation
That just
ever
made your job a
presents
little
itself,
easier?
I turn on the printer and the app. Okay, print all this. I just did that.
Right.
I'm assigning to you strings, horns, whatever.
Yeah.
Guitar, drums, and they'll print it out.
Huh.
Now, for those of us who doesn't read,
I like how you said us.
us,
We ain't reading nothing.
it's
When you say us, you say for those who don't lean on the reading as the necessity for the music. Right?
okay. Yes,
How did you mean it? Because you act like, no, that's not what I
Because
meant.
I don't read.
Okay, I don't either.
I don't read.
I don't fault you for it either.
I don't read,
Yeah.
but I can hear.
Yeah.
You know, I've taught myself how to. I've taught myself how to read. I mean,
Yeah.
of course, I have
When
to
you
teach
say you
myself
don't
notes.
read,
You can't put a piece of paper in me with the staff and the
Yeah.
notes, and then I'm lost.
I mean,
Like,
you
what is
can
this
take it
gibberish?
home and live with it, like you said, and figure it out.
There's no other way, man. There's no better way.
But the act of playing something on site is a discipline that some people work really hard at, and God bless them.
Correct.
Absolutely.
Other people decide that the feel is the important thing, and they're able to make a zillion records over the course of their career that make us
There it
all
is.
feel great.
There it is.
You know what? I also want to just shout out a record you did a long time ago here in Vallejo in 1992. Think back to a group called the Funky Aztecs, which was a seminal hip-hop group. In Vallejo, they had an album called Chicano Blues that you were on, and they shouted out and gave you I don't know what you did to those guys, but clearly you came in and you impacted them very seriously because,
guys.
yeah, I don't know what they're up to.
Right.
I had a junior high math class with Ricky.
Wow.
And I haven't seen him really in a long, long time. So I don't know if he's still in the game. At some point in the mid to late 90s, I found myself in the office of a guy named Joe Isgro. You remember Joe Isgro?
Yes.
He was a radio promoter.
Yes. Yes.
And kind of a shady one. Anyway, he never did get convicted of anything, so he must not have done anything. But he, at one point after his radio promotion days, had a label called Raging Bull Records. And, you know, we were down there talking shop. And he gave us some samples because he was, you know, we were looking at a distribution deal with them, which was terrible. It was terrible.
Okay.
But, you know,
It is
that's what he was offering.
Right.
But one of their artists on the roster was the Funky Aztecs. They also, oddly enough, right there in, I believe, 1990, maybe 5, maybe 6. Actually, no, 1997, the summer of 1997, because Nico was born that year. They had Cameo on their label. For like one record that I don't think anybody ever heard.
Really?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Huh.
that's a whole different story, though.
Wasn't the
Where were
Nasty
we?
album, was it?
I don't recall.
Yeah, because that didn't get heard.
Right. There's one
It
album
might have
called
been, dude.
Nasty.
It might have been.
Interesting.
Does
They
it
put
sound
that
like...
because they put that one track at the end of the live album. Nasty.
Uh-huh.
They
Just to
they
try
put
to
it
do
like
something with
as
it.
a bonus
Yeah.
track on the live
Maybe it
album.
wasn't that. Maybe it wasn't that. Was it a live album?
No, I don't think it was a live album. I just remember looking at the CD and going, this is a Cameo album that I have never heard. What is going on?
Right.
Right.
Maybe it's coming out sometime soon. And then I looked on the back of it and I go, nope, that's out. So, anyway, where was I going with that?
Well-
Funky Aztecs, man. Thank you for
Yeah.
making that record so good. At the time, it was 1992, right?
Okay, yeah.
And here's what I will say. For all of the groundbreaking and now, some say legendary, hip-hop acts from Vallejo, to include E40, Mac Dre, Celly Cell, all of them. In 1992, the best rap record that came out of Vallejo was Chicano Blues by the Funky Aztecs.
Yeah.
It absolutely was. That record was so strong.
Right.
It followed In Too Deep's record. In Too
did.
Deep's record
It
was
did.
pretty good.
It did.
And then when Chicano Blues came out, you went, oh,
Oh. Okay.
holy cow, because there's some real music on that record.
Right.
And some real grit and some real life. And they had this dude on there named Sugar Ray, and he had a real raspy voice, and he was a streetwise veteran. That dude was a vet in Vallejo, man. You saw him, he got respect everywhere. And he was talking about life. That record was good, man.
Well, thank you. I remember it.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
That's KC. He
That's
does
it.
it every
I don't know how we hooked up, but I'm
does it
thankful.
every
Yeah. I don't know how you did either. Did you do a lot of hip-hop records in the 90s?
Oh, yeah, I was part of the 415 crew.
Oh, man.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
I was the
did a
musician
lot,
in
yeah.
the 415 crew.
Richie Rich.
He said the musician.
I
The
was the musician.
You were
Was
the
there a
guy.
doubt?
You were the musician.
the one.
musician guy.
Oh my!
Hey, where's musician guy?
Band of one.
We're making a
guy.
record here. Where's
He's
musician
the
guy?
guy that played those things.
All of them.
Instrument things.
Yeah.
The mighty band of
Man,
one.
you were the guy in the Bay Area making music in hip hop. I mean, there were,
Oh, there.
K-Lou,
Oh, yeah.
Al Eaton. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There were some cats, Bobby. Yeah.
Bobby Ford, yes. I learned up under them. The truth being that I learned under them. I listened to them.
Huh.
Yeah. You're sitting next to a sponge.
Okay.
Yeah, sponge.
And I'm just a rock. I live under a rock.
He keeps saying this.
Planet Rock.
Everybody that hears this interview, we're going to bring Mr. Agent out quicker than he thinks.
From the shadows.
From the shadows.
No, from the
He gonna
rock.
make a
He's
live
coming back
appearance.
out. We bringing him back out. I'm going to do my part.
I like my rock.
You know what? This album, One Love, I heard the
Yeah, I
snippets.
did send you the snippet.
They were all good. Every one of them made me go, I got to hear the rest of this song. But when you were composing this album, is this a collection of compositions that you've been working on, or did you sit deliberately and go, I'm going to take some of these and take some of these, and then I'm going to write a body of this thing, and I'm going to make this One Love album? Was it conceptual like that, or it's just been a collection of life works?
Yeah, I would say this album, literally for me, is the album I always wish I could have wrote.
Wow.
You know when you hear an album,
Man,
and you
that's
go,
a big swing.
Man, I wish I wrote that.
Yeah.
Well, this is the one for me. So every song you hear is a song that I wished I could have written.
Man.
So this is the ultimate for me.
Wow.
Every one of those songs is like, man, I wish I would have wrote that. I wish I would have sung that.
Yeah. And you did.
And I did. So it's like
That's enormous.
It's a trip.
That is
It's a trip to listen to it and go, but I did write that.
Are you now I'm not looking at CC, I'm looking at Kurt. Are you prepared to bear the weight of that statement?
Yeah, I'm mentally getting into it.
Uh-huh.
Mentally getting into it for August 3rd.
That is a heady statement.
Yeah, man.
August 3rd.
4 days.
August
4 days.
3rd.
August 3rd.
It's dropping.
It's dropping August 3rd.
Man.
Yeah.
What is your expectation for August 3rd? Waking up in the morning. What do you want to do? What do you want to see? Who do you think this album is
It's already happening.
Yeah.
The pandemonium has already begun.
The pandemonium has begun.
The messages, the requests, the CDs have already been.
Yeah.
The orders have come in and selling in all the stores in London and everywhere. Japan.
Right.
And so
I'm thinking about the ears, though. Whose ears do you want to touch with this record?
someone under 40.
Huh.
So they can learn something.
Huh. This album is an education. An education in what, sir?
The title.
One Love.
Listen, if I don't say anything else before we wrap this interview up, who knows when we're going to end this. But Bob Marley said it a long time ago, man.
Yeah.
So I'm just another messenger in the same message.
Yeah.
But when we say one love, we mean mankind. Entire mankind. Not those people in this country, those people in this country. One love means one love.
Yeah.
Either we all got it or no one has it.
Why do you think we haven't heard this message?
We've heard it. We've heard it.
Yeah.
But we didn't hear it with both ears.
Right.
The same way that kids don't hear
Yeah.
space.
Yeah.
Right. We've heard it. We've had so many messages.
They're hearing a zillion notes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
A zillion messages.
But
Well,
this is simple.
Okay,
The
so
one
as a messenger,
Yeah.
I think what you're saying is that it's a message that bears repeating. And sometimes we lose sight of it, and sometimes we need to be
reminded that we are nothing separate. Separately, we can't do anything.
Right.
As a whole.
Yeah.
So every song on this project has something to do with love. There's no song on there that has nothing to, it's all love. Literally.
Yeah.
So that's the message.
Wow.
Hopefully someone 15 listening to their mom, like we did.
Yeah.
Your parents are listening to this album. You're going, a song might catch your ear. What do you listen to, Mom? What do you listen to? And then they'll grab it, and then they'll play it or download it or whatever they do.
However they get it.
However they get it.
Yeah.
And if they get that, if we get one of those, then we might be doing something.
I think we're going to get one of those in a number of places. What is the best path to this record for the folks who are listening to this show and go, man, you guys sure are making a big deal out of this record. I ought to get me one of these.
Yeah.
Platforms.
Yeah.
We're not talking about your shoes, Dave.
I got to stay up
He
here.
might still have a pair.
Up, man.
He might still have a few pair.
No, don't get it twisted. In London and Japan, that's all
Yeah.
popping.
Hey, man.
Yeah. So
They
the
know
great
what's up.
thing about where we are now is we have worldwide distribution.
Yes.
So it's one thing to have being an independent artist, but what good is it if your music isn't everywhere?
Right.
So now the music is everywhere. So I don't have to sit here and say, well, you can find it. No, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
It literally will be everywhere.
Wow.
So, but not being able to be downloaded until August 17th. So if you want to hear,
Get a physical
you
copy.
gotta get a physical copy.
Get
so,
a physical copy.
So when we came out with that idea, now I'm being called some genius. So you're not gonna put it available for download? No,
Not yet.
no. Go to the store. Go get it.
Go get it.
Get it from Amazon. They'll deliver it to you.
In some cases, same day.
Same.
They'll get it to you, people.
They'll get it to you. So
Amazon.
it's literally like Japan. They've never left the physical.
Is that true?
They have not. There's 8 Tower Records
They
still
have
in
been
Japan, man.
leaders in technology since the word I think technology is a Japanese word. Ooh, it's technology.
But now when it comes to music,
Yeah.
they still want to hold it in there. They want to hold it. They want to show that they have it.
Right.
I'll never forget when me and Richie were in Japan, and this guy figured out that we were both from Collage, the original album.
Yes.
Right. And he disappears, gets on the subway and rides who knows how far across town and back. A couple
From
hours later,
Yokohama
He goes and gets it.
Fukuoka.
a couple hours later, he shows up. Please sign, please sign.
And he's got a collage album
He's
in
got
his
a
hand.
collage
for you to
album,
sign.
looking at him like, whoa,
Wow.
physical.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's something to it, man. There's something to it. The tactile experience of a record, it extends way beyond just the fact that digital music doesn't sound quite as good as analog music on vinyl.
Well, you know
putting
what?
the needle on the record and all of that stuff.
Kirk, tell them the difference between Wave and then the MP3.
Tell
There's
us
your
the
man.
difference between
There's your
Wave
man.
and MP3. Besides file size, because everybody's like, well, Waves are big. That's why I don't have any of them, because I can't fit 22,000 of them on my phone.
Right.
Yeah,
but it
it
takes
is.
the sound.
It takes
man.
the sound away. It does.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we're living in this new age of compression.
Yeah.
Compression to get over the airwaves. So it's for us to find a way to get that fullness back into the music.
Right.
So
As it is,
That's a battle,
the syndrome of compression is making people's teeth too close together.
Yep.
Pretty soon your eyes are going to get too close together.
real.
Listen to and experience
For
music
real.
the way that it was meant. Hold it in your hand, read who played on the record. Remember the joy that you
Dang.
experienced reading
album
about who
cover.
was on the record.
those liner notes.
Oh,
Yep.
man.
I didn't know so played on here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all part of the experience. So, One Love, get it on Amazon.
Best Buy.
You'll get it quickly. You can get it at Best Buy. You can get it at where else? Are there Sam Goodies? You can get one of the 7 Tower records in Japan.
Yeah. Wow. And they have physical stores in Colorado. I mean, my stuff is in Colorado, and Utah, and other places like that still actually have some stores.
Yeah.
Yeah. So get it, man.
Music stores as a culture still exist in certain places.
Yeah. But now there's like those stores that say, okay, we have rare albums or collectibles or remastered. We got it here. So that's kind of how they make their money now.
Yeah.
We have that 5 of the only LPs from 1972. But you got to buy it for like $200.
Right. You got to be a Japanese dude willing to get on a train for 2.5 hours to come back with a Sharpie and your favorite collage album from 1983. Wait a minute. What bands were there bands that you two overlapped?
Overlapped?
that one. No, Kirk.
Dave.
When
Overlap, Dave. Overlap.
when I left,
Overlap, Dave.
We
overlap.
had to get it to this part.
You had to go there.
when I left,
This is the good stuff.
Oh
see.
boy.
when I left, this dude came in
Uh-huh.
and put down everything that I wasn't doing.
No, I
Put it
did
that
not.
way.
For the record,
And
Here we
Oh,
go.
I did
It's
not.
on now.
The truth
And,
is
I
on.
did not.
and
I was trying to fill those shoes. I couldn't get
It's
the right
extracting all of
laces.
the
The
liquid.
laces on the boots were the wrong freaking color. I had brown boots with green laces. Didn't work. Okay, go ahead.
What is Kirk talking about?
You had to be there, man.
Put us on blast. But go ahead.
no,
Tell
no,
the story.
I'm cracking up. This is funny, but no, just Collage is where our overlap is.
That's it.
Collage Arrival
Okay.
is the same band. Yeah. All right. And,
I'm just asking as a casual listener. I'm just
No.
making
but
an
there's-
observation.
there's
where there
like
may
some-
be an
Yeah,
opportunity.
you're talking
Dude,
about a
overlap.
whole
all I'm
universe
saying.
of knowledge that's like,
Dave,
man,
Dave,
it's
Dave.
like back there.
John has been waiting how many years to get into this part?
I'm digging it out.
He's going for
He got-
he's going for blood right now.
Okay, all right.
And I'm glad you're the one talking.
So you just gotta come. You just
He
gotta
butted
come
in
from
to
under the
say.
rock just for a little while.
Up from under the
Just
rock.
for a little while.
Come on out, man.
Yo,
The weather's nice.
but
Go ahead, Dave.
Go ahead, Dave.
That was cold.
Go ahead, Dave.
Come on, man. This
feel
is,
like
this
I
is the
had
break
that-
it down show, man.
That show, man.
Hammer where you hit people.
It's
in
like
the
he
knee.
want to say it. He want to say it, but he
wanna
won't say it.
He won't say it.
long story short,
We
Collage
got
was,
battery, Dave.
Collage was just one of the most amazing bands you will ever see. And
That's absolutely
I'm
true.
Absolutely
Yeah.
dead to rights, proud of everything that they did before I got there, when I was there, and after I left.
There we go.
I mean, there's no more love in the world that I could conjure up for those cats than I still have in my heart today. I got it. It's
And
still
we
there.
still together.
And we still together.
Yeah.
But this brother right here, Kirk Crumpler, man, what an inspiration for me. To his Music Man bass is legendary to the point, and I had a Music Man bass, but mine got ripped off, and it didn't act the same when I got it back. And I'm lucky that I actually got it back.
I think maybe Lewis Johnson took it. Guitar tech.
And so I gave up on it. I shouldn't have, because now it's worth about 7 or 8 times what I paid for it. So, but what I'm happy to say is that I have another one. Finally, after nearly 40 years,
That's
I
something.
finally got myself another Music Man.
Yeah.
And
I got a picture of it.
I can pretend that I am the man. Kirk Crumpler.
So anyway,
Okay.
he's not coming out the
Well,
rock.
I guess. Yeah. I guess that's kind of an answer.
We gotta go with
So we want.
That's
So
what I do.
we want to find out how David ended up on this track called "That's My Baby."
Yeah.
That's
How
actually
is that?
actually
Do tell, sir.
the single that's out this
Do tell.
Friday.
Daryl Carbolito called me one day and said, "Man, I need you to be on my cousin's podcast." And so we did the podcast X amount of years ago. And since then,
He said X amount of years. This podcast isn't that old.
X amount.
Okay.
well, that's algebraic and all
Okay.
that stuff.
I see. It is that old. You're right.
Did I say brick? I meant braic.
Uh-huh.
But so what that exposure on the Break It Down show made these guys sitting at the table realize that, hey, man, wait a minute. There's that dude.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute, those guys. I remember the night, like I said, I recall the night at Presidio. And for Cornell to bring that up in his episode just kind of struck me as it pulled up that stored brain cell that was sitting back there holding that in there. I was like, wait a minute, I remember that night.
Huh.
So
look at that.
And so, things, it just triggered this whole thing. But here I come back to the scene in a whole new way. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. I'm happy to be here.
So, Dave.
Yes, sir.
How did you get on That's My Baby?
That was the question. That was the question. How did you
Kurt,
get
why
on?
do you want to bring up old
I thought you
shit?
said hi.
No, how did you
We
get
want to
on
know, how did you get on
That's
this song,
My
That's
Baby?
My Baby? That's
that
what we
track
want to know.
that everybody's going Google over right
We
now.
want to know, how did you get on that track?
Man, they have amnesia under that rock.
Somebody's
Man, we
got
gotta
to
get him out that rock. I
explain.
guess
Somebody's got to
so.
explain how I ended. I don't know.
Okay, I'm
We
jumping
need to
in.
get Dave
I'm
some
jumping in.
sunlight, and in the
know.
meantime, please,
Let me jump in.
CC, please,
You help.
regale us with the tale.
I don't remember. I remember Cornell
Yeah.
in 1979.
Yeah.
You don't remember how you played on this song? How you got on this song?
I don't remember doing it.
Go ahead, Mr. Carter.
Okay,
Take it away.
We talking about that. Of course, Morgan Howe, who produced the song, sent me the track. Right, so I'm writing to the track. The track was actually called "Can We Wait" originally. It was a whole nother feel to it.
Say that again.
Whole different vibe. So Kirk started talking. He says, "Man, we got to get Dave on one of these tracks." This is we weren't even halfway through the album yet. He says, "Some kind of way we got to get Dave Agent to play on the track."
That's crazy.
I said, "You know
Did
what,
that
Kirk?"
really happen?
Yeah,
This is what
he
happened.
said, some kind of way.
Uh-huh.
He says, "Man,
what happened.
because we've been talking over the years, because he sends out like blasts. Hey, anybody? Cornell's doing another album. Anybody want to be in it?"
Come on.
They don't call. So this album, everybody's calling because we're having some success.
Yeah.
So we're sitting around talking. So I say, "Kirk, what about
Who deserves a seat on this train?
Yeah.
Right?
Kirk says, "My mentor."
My mentor. Exactly.
Straight like that. He said, "My mentor." And I know who you talking about. I said, "Man, send the track to Dave. Send it to him. Send it to him." And that's how it happened. Just like that. Send it to Dave.
Now, do you remember, Dave?
Yes, now I
Oh,
remember
okay.
because it's been a whirlwind of activities ever since.
Since that.
Literally.
Yeah.
Just,
But here's the thing.
just a tornado.
He plays the track. I finish my vocals. We send it back to London to Morgan Howe, Soul Persona. He loses his mind. Who the hell is on that bass? Because he said, "I would love to have a James Jamerson feel to it." He didn't know he was getting that.
Yeah. Yeah.
He didn't know he was
He
getting
had
that.
his own
He
Dave Agent
had
moment.
no clue. We put Dave Scholl on guitar on top of it. But he sent us 2 versions of his bass playing. And A was just as good as B.
Wow.
So he played 2 versions of the song.
Yeah.
And I lived with it. I said, "This feels good." And then after he played bass, I sung it according to how he played.
Ah.
There it is.
A lot of things I'm singing in there, like at the end.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see my baby. He forced me to sing with him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I said, okay. He didn't even hear a lyric. He didn't even know what the song was going to be called. So he played all that without vocals.
Wow. Before they even happened.
Before we even put a vocal track on it, he had played that. That's genius.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's playing but leaving.
Room.
Yeah, he didn't
That
force you
that
to sing.
space.
He invited
He
you.
didn't say, "Come on in, man.
invited you to
Come on
sing.
in. The water is warm."
I put him right here.
That's right. That is artistry. That is virtuosity.
Yeah.
That is one love. My guests today were Cornell C.C. Carter, Kirk K.C. Crumpler, kicking Kirk Crumpler,
Amen.
Yep.
and Dave Agent. Once again, I love you 3 gentlemen.
Thank you, John.
Big love, man.
And
Big love to you.
One love.
Yeah.
One love.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. August 3rd, everybody.
Go get it.
Third.
Go
Yep.
get it.